Thank you very much, Mickey. My name is Frederick Anaafi, a data enthusiast, and have been in the data space for the past 8 years. In my career path, I started using data 8 years back. I started as an accountant in a public institution, and that's when I started analyzing data with Excel. And through that, I've been able to really develop myself in the space of data in terms of understanding how data works. So I've developed myself in Power BI and Tableau, so I'm able to use Tableau, Power BI certified, and also a Microsoft certified trainer. For the past years, I've also formed a company called FredExcel, which really train young graduates and also the corporate worker on how to use basic functionality tools to analyze data, specifically Excel and also Power BI. I'm married with 3 kids, and that is me. Today, I won't, since much time is spent, I won't bore you. I'll move straight and talk about deep dive into data analysis. So my presentation will be in 2 phases. First, the PowerPoint presentation. Then I'll move on to the practical bit, the demonstration bit. I know that most of my colleagues in here are quite well delved into data, but I'll just pick some basics, then I'll move into the practical part. So the topic we are looking at today has to do with deep dive into DataViz 2 using Microsoft Power BI. Our sponsors, thanks to Spectrum IT, Redgate, and also I appreciate it, Mickey, for having me on this big platform, the data platform and cloud of Southampton. Thank you very much. So my presentation will be in analyzing data with Power BI. The one in the gray will form part of the practical bits, and the last bit will be the real-life illustration showcasing the practical application of Power BI. Okay, so analyzing data with Power BI. What is really Power BI? We have heard about the BI. What is it? Really, BI has to do with business intelligence. It's an approach and application of technology used by organizations of all sizes to analyze data and gain insights and information that can really aid in making a well-informed decision. That's the BI bit, the business intelligence bit. Then we have the data analysis bit, which has to do with the process which enables one to find patterns, evaluate causes and effects, and make estimations from data, usually through application of logic-based, such as statistical analysis. Now, you shouldn't forget that there are lots of BI or intelligent tools. As I initially mentioned, we have the Ultrix, we have the Tableau, we have the Power BI, Q-Link, a lot in the market. I just want to show data visualization. What is it really about? Basically, it has to do with the act of using visuals elements such as charts, graphs, maps, as my previous presenter showed, maps and other illustrations to analyze data, to find patterns in data, and also to report insights from the data. We could realize that the initial presentation, we wanted to get insights into location in Poland. And all this has to do with data visualization. So in here, you can see the line graph, you can see the bar, the stack bar chart, and you can simply see the table chart in here. We have the self-service Power BI, an approach that empowers people in many different roles to perform data analysis and discover insights by using Power BI tools. So basically here I want to dive into how the interface looks like. And when it comes to Microsoft Power BI, it's simply a tool for creating data visualization and performing data analysis. So normally, normal interface of the Power BI looks like this. We have the canvas, we have the filter bit. So this is the report part. We have the filter bit, the visualization, and the field bit. I'll just mention some key points. We have the licensing bit, that is the Pro Power BI, that comes with a little bit of fee, but currently the one I'm currently using, I think the ones those watching can also practice with, has to do with the free bit. They can download the Power BI, they can connect to data, clean and transform, create reports, create dashboards. But in a situation where they want to collaborate on reports and dashboards, or share through link, or create and share apps, they will need the paid version, which is the Pro. I'll just dive into the interface of the Power BI tags. What does it do? Basically, with the Power BI, you have to connect to data. So, in our practical example, we'll look at how to really connect to data. We'll look at how to transform and combine data. Then we'll explore and analyze data. In this space, we'll answer business questions, create visualizations, reports and dashboards, and share and store reports. So this is the Power BI user interface. We have the view selection. Basically, when you open, so you have the canvas, this is the reports bit, this is the filter pane, we have the visualization pane, we have the fields pane. This whole area is the ribbon. And when you collapse the filter and the visualization field, at least you get a broader view for the report part, so that you get a large canvas, at least for analysis view. So we have the report view up here, we have the data view, we have the model view. That's where you can really connect various data. In Excel, someone will say that at this space, you can do the XLOOKUP and the VLOOKUP in there. So here you are connecting data at the model bit. And you can also perform some DAX calculations also, both at the model and also at the data or the report view. So this is the report page. In the same way as Excel, we have sheets. In the reports page, we also have page tabs where you can find the pages in there, and you have the page indicator, which can also show you the page in which you are, and with the number of data when you are in the data bit. That's the table bit. You'll be able to know the number of data in the Power BI. So we have the canvas. In the canvas, we have the selection view. So this is the visualization. This is the whole area for the canvas. In here, we have the visual header. That's a transparent bar associated with report visual that enables you to work with the visual. So at least with this one, you can filter, you can focus, you can drill down into the various with focus on this particular visualization of this particular chart. Now we are moving on to the practical example. For our practical example we are looking at today, we are looking at the Tour de France, that has to do with those who like cycling. It started way back in 1903. I just want to give a background of the data we are going to use for our analysis today, up to 2023. So I use that to analyze my data today. Our interest will be in, let me just give a little background of the Tour de France. It has to do with an annual multiple bicycle race. They have 23-day period. There are 21 stages. Each stage is timed events. And they are in teams also. So the lowest cumulative time after all the stages wins the race. And the riders work together to pace each other, shelter each other from the wind, and help each other to win or to overcome the injury. So this has been a sport which has been existent for a long time. It started way back in 1903. And the whole idea was to really promote the sales of a newspaper in France. Initially, that's in 1903. So let's dive into our data, what we'll expect. Basically, with our data, we'll be looking at the number of teams within that particular span of years from 1903 to 2023. We'll look at the number of riders that finished. We'll look at the number of wins for each year. Then we'll look at the total distance and speed covered by the riders for each year in terms of the distance and kilometers per hour. So we'll look at the distance and also the speed. So we expect an output like this. So we'll delve straight into our practical bit. I don't know if at this point there's any question for me. If not, I'll proceed to the practical bit. Mickey. Hello.
I don't see any questions. Sorry, I have to switch between the screens and the laptops. So.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah, no questions in the chat.
Okay, so I can proceed then. Thank you. But I guess I'm quite audible. Okay, let me proceed. Okay, so that's our Power BI tool. Normally, when you open or launch the Power BI desktop, this is the interface you will get. And here we'll load our data from our desktop. It's, as I stated earlier, it's a data of cycling race from 1903 to 2023. And it's in CSV file. So we'll go to get data, go to text or the CSV. So we select our location of the file is in here. That's MTOR. So we'll select our data and open our data into the Power. So it will launch the CSV Power Query. So here it's extract, transform, and load. So in here we have our data. So we can see the data in here. So we have a column which has no header. We have the rank. You know that for each of the riders, they are ranked. We have the riders, the rider number. We have the team, the gap. We have the total seconds, the gaps between them, the result, and even the time they used to finish, and the year, very important, and the distance they covered. So first, we'd like to really transform the data, do a little bit of work on it. So that will take us into the Power Query editor. Yes, it's not showing on my screen, sorry. I'm using two screens, so when I open it, I think it launches into my other screen. So that's the Power Query editor. So in the Power Query editor, this have no header, so we need to do some cleaning in here. So we'll give this one a name. We'll call it, let's call it ID, because here they are numbering from 0 to the total number. So maybe let's give this one an ID, unique. So let me change it to whole numbers. We have the rank, we have the rider, we have the rider number, we have the team, the times, the gap, then we have the total seconds. But it's very important that we change the total seconds into hours. So we'll divide it by 3600. So we'll do some calculation in here. So we'll go to add column or add a custom column. So let's call this one the total. Let's call this one the total hours. And we are talking about we are changing or converting another column, the total seconds. So that will pop up. So we are doing some calculations in here. Divided by, you should know that changing it into minutes will be times, this one is in seconds, so changing it into minutes will be by times 60, divided by 60. So we can multiply it again by 60. So that's a 360. That's 3600. So you can see that our syntax is correct. So everything is good for us to go. So that will be the total hours. So we click on OK. So we have our total hours in here. So we have done some transformation in here. So we can change this one to the data format into full numbers, and we are good to go. So at least we have extract, we have transform. So we are now going to load this into our data, into our Power BI. So we go to close and apply. So that will load our data in there. It will take some minutes for it to get loaded. So we have our data in there, and this is our canvas area. So we will open up. We can see the various headers fields in there. Okay, so what we want to currently achieve. So first, we'll do some filtering in here. Don't forget that our data was from 1903, but I would like to filter it to start from maybe 1919. So I'll expand our filter, but we'll filter it based on year. You can see that in our filter here, you can filter on all pages or filter based on this page, but here we're going to filter on all pages and it will be based on the years. So we'll just pick and drop the filter in here. Then we'll filter it based on greater than or equal to 1919, which means our data will cover that range. It won't take. So but the moment we apply the filter, here you can't see it, but at least when we start applying the data into the canvas, you'll see the changes in there. So first, we would like to put in the start column because we want to pick some information in there. So, sorry. Where's my mouse? Okay. So here we'll put in the year on the x-axis. And now put in the team on the y-axis. So that gives us some information in here. So these are for the various years in terms of the cycling, but you can see that there are some gaps in here. So we want to really correct it very well so that it aligns very well. So we'll go to the format and go to the x-axis and the minimum, let us do the minimum 1915. And the maximum, let's say 2024. At least that will let it be a little bit neat in there. Then we can introduce our table. So you need to click outside before you apply the tables in there. So we want to pick some information from the teams. So we'd like to know the teams in there. So we'll drop the teams in the column. Undo. I want the teams to be in this column. So I'll pick the teams and drop in that column. So that gives us the teams who participated, who have once participated in the Tour de France. Then we pick the number of riders in there. So these are the years. So here we can do some analysis in here. We can do some analysis in here. So when you look at in here, at least you can see that there's some gap here. I think that was when we have the World War II. So there was no cycling in there from 1940 to I think 50. So you can see. So the moment you say for each bar. So this one's for the current. So the moment you select it, where's my header? Sorry. Close this. Okay. cancel. Okay, so we have our team. So the moment you select the year, you get to know the number of teams that really participated and the number of riders in there. So you have the number team and the riders. And also for this particular year, I'm sure there might be something wrong with the information here. What it means is that only 3 teams really participated in 1966. But I guess as we have to look at the data, let's see. But we'll proceed. So this becomes very dynamic. You can go in and check for the various teams, the various years, the number of teams really that participated in the year. So we shall proceed. So we'll call this one this number of teams. Okay. For each year. Okay, so we'll move on to the next field, where our interest will be in the number of riders that finished, that really finished the race. So we are still going to use the stack column, drop in there, select. Then our interests, we'll put in the years. Then we'll put in the unique. So that will be the ID, because that's unique for each rider. So this is the information. So we can go back the same stuff I did earlier on, at least just to clean it. So start from 1919 to, let's say, 2024. So we have a clean data. So as I initially said, you can see the number of riders that finished the race, because don't forget that for not all the riders are able to finish. So when we go in, you can see that for year 2023, the 150 riders really finished the race. So maybe I can change the name. So number of riders. Let me move here and just rename this to number of riders that finished. That really finished the race. Let me put it that way. Okay. Sorry, it didn't apply. Okay. So that will be for this particular one. We'll rename it and call it the number of riders. Okay. So that will be, we'll move on to, now we'd like to find out those who really, let me call it, won the race, the ones who had the winning flags. So that will be our next new page for us to analyze. But before that, we will have to go back and transform the data and do some analysis, because there are some years where there was no, we didn't have people really winning or be coming on top or being first. So it's very important that we do a little bit of analysis on that. So we go back to transform our data. We create a duplicate of this. and name it the min rank. Let me add min rank to it. Okay. So here we are going to group by year. We'll call this the new name minimum rank. Okay, so we have picked the minimum rank from each of them yet. So you can see we have our data in here. So from 1903 way back. So you can see that even with some of the minimum rank, we have 2, which means for those years, the minimum rank, nobody was first. It means started from second. So that's why it's very important that we pick the minimum part of it. So we pick it from here. Then we go back to our data. Here, we'd like to merge these 2 data based on year. So we go to merge queries. And we'll merge it based on year. Our selection is correct. So we merge it based on years. So we have our tables in here. We'll expand the table. At least we have the years already in this particular data. So we'll not be interested in the year. We'll also not need the original data. So we'll click on OK. So we have our min rank in here. Let's change this to the whole number. Okay, so in here, it's very important that we need to proceed. So add more calculation in here. We'll go to transform conditional. And now call this one, we want to find out the square first, the main flag. And say that if the min rank, the minimum rank operator from the selected column is equal to rank, then the output should be 1. If not, then it should be 0. Because we want to make sure that for the minimum rank, don't forget that, as I said, in the minimum rank, there are some which are 2. So we want to compare it with the rank. So far as it's equal to 1, then it means we are certain that that is the minimum within that particular column or range. So we apply that. So you can see we have some 1s and 0s. So first we have our min rank flag in here. Let's also change this to whole numbers and our hours also 2 decimals. Okay. Okay, so we are good to go. So first we have our min rank flag here. We won't need this, but we can decide to maintain it. You can decide to remove this particular one. The beauty of working in Power Query is that all the actions you do, you can see it in the apply steps. So you can go back and even remove it, and you can still come back to the original stuff. Okay. Now I want to find a win flag. So that one will add another formula transform in here. So we are going to do the custom column. We are going to call it a winner flag. And we are going to say that if the main rank flag is equal to 1 and rank is also equal to 1, then 1 else 0. We can see that our syntax is correct. So then we can now go for OK. Oh, what went wrong? Okay, let me check. Okay, let me invoke the action again. We are calling the winner flag. Let's maybe I put a space in. We are saying that if the min rank is equal to 1 and rank is also equal to 1, then 1 else 0. Okay, so we are good. So we have the winner flag, we have the min rank. So we can load to now go and find out the real winners in the various cycling for the year, for the various years. So we'll go back to home. First, let me change this to a whole number. Yeah, this one to a whole number. So we are good to go. So we go back to apply. Let's close and apply. So our data gets updated. Now we are going to use our stacked bar chart. In here. We'll do the winner flag in the X as a sum. Then we put the teams in the y-axis. So these are the sum of the flags. So you can see for the various teams. Then we can do same for the riders also. So we put the and flag in here. And now put the team, this time the riders, in there. So you can see the teams and the riders. So for each of the teams, when you select, it will give you the riders who were ranked first or were winners. So this will have the France team, we have the Benesto. So the moment you click it will give you the riders who won in there. That's the beauty of the chart. At the same time, when you go to the number of winners, so let me call it those who won in terms per the ride, it will also give you the teams in which they belong to. So Alberto Contadi, you can tell you the teams in which he really played a role in there. Now we'll go to our last now we want to look at the distance and also the distance covered and the speed per each rider for the various years. In here, there will be a little bit of DAX functions in here, and we'll move straight into that. So we are going to use the but DAX is a whole topic on its own, but I have the functions already here, so I'll just copy it into the new measure and explain. So that's our new measure. So we are introducing a DAX function. Okay. So our interest will be the total distance. So we are summing the total distance. Let me just, so this is a DAX function I prepared. Done. Okay. Okay. Just want to ensure that DAX function. Okay. Very, I just want to take some information.
Fred, just so you know, you are not sharing the screen anymore.
Hello? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, but you are not sharing the screen.
Sorry. My screen goes on. Okay, I guess mine. Please, can you see now?
Yes, we can see this.
Can you see my screen now? You can see my screen?
Yep.
Okay. So I can't see it. Okay, I have to stop on here. Okay, so sorry. So we are doing our DAX as I initially now my DAX is not working. Let's see. So let me click here. Okay, I guess. Okay, so I'm making reference to the data. I get because I prepared the formula earlier on the DAX function with. So I was having issues. Well, I guess I'm good now.
Hi, Fred. Our friendly code fixers suggesting that the single apostrophe. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, sorry. Okay,
that's fine.
sure. Yeah, sure. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, good. Let's change the to decimal to okay. So that would be for the total distance covered. Okay, so you can see the total distance covered. Let me just copy my, so that's how we use it again. So that'll be for the total distance. Now let's go for the speed. So I'll add another new measure. Let me just pick my, so that'll be the top speed. So I'm changing it to kilometers, I guess. So oh, okay, so I can copy now and just push it in there. Okay. Control. Okay. something here. What's happening here? This one is fine. Let me pick it again. I don't know what I'm getting wrong here.
Hi, Fred. We have a suggestion here.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you put a single quotation mark around the table names, it should work. So for example, on the first one before the T, if you just put a single quotation.
Okay.
And then after the Y for history, stick another little quotation mark at the end of the Y. So yeah, there you go. So if you do the same, so just a single quotation mark, not the double. So the same as what you did before the T.
Okay.
There you go. And if you do that, oh, it's still.
But the other three TDFs.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's not like in the first one.
I think I get it. So because of the source data. So okay.
Yeah,
Oh, the table doesn't exist without the issue.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, it's tool data set.
Yeah.
It's got TDF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you can just use the IntelliSense.
But it doesn't replace the
Yeah.
new one and the old.
Okay. Yes, I have problem here.
But there is no TDF, is there?
No, there was
Yeah.
No.
Oh, why?
So before the total hours, you need to put the table name of tour data set.
The B.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just that last one of T mini rank flag.
Yeah.
It's the B because it's the same as the first total hours, isn't it? It was meant to be the same as the total flow.
It's got an error. Speech mark there.
Yeah.
Single.
Don't know where the B is coming from.
Oh, from auto complete.
Yeah, it's also complete.
Oh, it's because it should not be the same as the first tour data set
Yeah,
total hours.
Yeah.
Because right now it's got total
Total
data
distance
set.
summary.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. You should be able to just copy the first tour data set total hours and paste it over the top.
Okay, let me just I'll see where.
Those have the incorrect table again.
Yeah, that B is extra.
Yeah, if he deletes the B, it should be okay. Well, for that bit anyway.
Okay,
And T next to it.
Yeah, T knee rank flag needs to be tour data set knee rank flag.
okay. So I guess we are good. Okay, so this one too. To general, decimal, reduce it to 1. Decimal place. Okay. Okay, so now we pick our years in the x-axis. Then our total distance into our y-axis. Then the top average, we push it into the secondary axis. Okay, good. Okay, so here we do a little bit of analysis here. We'll add the markers. We'll set the markers on.
Fred, quick questions. Like, do you know how long do you have left?
I'm sure in the next 5 minutes I should be done.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Is that okay? Okay. So we have the markets in there. Sorry, so that's my. So in the lines, we'll use the stroke width. So we'll decrease the stroke width so you can't see the lines anymore. Then quickly, we will move on to add further analysis. In terms of the x-axis, we'll add a line. Let's call this one the World War II. Okay. I guess it was 1940. So 1940. 1940. We push in a. So that'll be the horizontal, which means we didn't have any. Let me give it a different color. Instead of the dash, I'll make it a solid. Then I'll add another line. That will be, I guess, 1946. So I'll add another World War II. So it was within this period. There wasn't any. So 1946. That one we give it the same red. and we make it solid. So for the data labels, we can show the data labels in there. You can decide to just show the name. So you can see the World War II there. We can shape it to red. So with this, so you can see that for the 2023, the total distance covered was 2,068 miles, and the speed was 25 miles per hour, 25.8 miles per hour. So you can see for the various years, the various distance covered, and also the average speed used to cover those distance. So this is really a simple data analysis on the distance for the cyclists and also for the average speed. We can really add more stuff to it when we go into the data, but I guess time. So I don't know if there's any question for me.
Thank you for the session.
Thank you too. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be on the platform.